Well. Gold has done it again. It's managed to absolutely obliterate some people's accounts and has also managed to catch many people off guard and also managed to catch people trying to buy the dip. Hey, don't get me wrong. I did try buying once, but after that SL got hit, hey man, I managed to join the trend and start selling. But yeah, it's one of them ones, right? When gold has this bearish momentum, it can keep going. You can't just you can't bring you got to look at these areas, right? Right. Anyone who just bring up these, oh yeah, fundamental, here's a support, right? I'm expecting it to slow down here, and then expecting it to slow down around this area. This is at FTMO, not FTMO. What am I on about? This was at FOMC. We were expecting some sort of push back up, right, to then continue down, but we didn't get that. So the worst case scenario, you guys could have sold after the low was created at the news release, and you would have managed to catch something on the way down. But when momentum is a very high in one direction, right, all you got to do is just got to grab your support and resistance levels and take them like that. You can see here we got a support and resistance level there created after the FOMC event, push up, break down, and then what happened? London session retested that area and then made another low. That was then retested on the following US session there. Then we made another low, which was here, which was then retested on the Asian session and then carried on going down. We also I think we took a sell trade. Well, I know I did. Took a sell trade at the break of this, and price retested the daily low, the previous daily low, and then continue going down. And we also got a retest on the US session to continue going down. So you could, once you get a momentum in one direction, right? Hey, one direction, big up. You can then continuously place trades going in that direction, right? Because many people will just try to look at the other way, right? Oh, it's way too low to sell at this area, right? But and so they're going to end up buying, right? But don't get me wrong, that's fine. I admit, right? I did place a buy trade as well. I sent it out to the VIPs, right? Just because it came to an area, the structure was looking okay, matching my strategy. But as long as you have the stop loss in place, right? Just stop right there. Look at the other way because your support got broken, right? So you're expecting it to continue lower now anyway. Then just wait for a pullback and start selling, right? So price did come and break one of these lows. Say, for example, it was at this area where, I was seeing price slow down, right? If I move this out there, I just want to see the timing. Yeah, it was around about London session. Price came into an area, it did end up pushing up. I think we did catch something, and then it ended up reversing and hitting us at break even, completely carried on going down, and then continued falling after the US session went. But that's fine because obviously we did manage to take something. Break even was then hit, but since that low was broken, right, you then just flip the opposite way. Just wait for a pullback and then start selling the other way, and then have your stop loss above the previous high. Now, the only thing that I'd say that if you get caught out twice, right, so you try to buy, you get caught out, and then now the support's broken, you try to sell, and then that also gets caught out with a move to the upside. That's when you say that, okay, I've took 2 losses, or I've took 1 break even and 1 loss, right? The market is not going in one direction. It's not trending in the same, like either bearish or bullish, right? It seems to be spiking all over the place. This is where you stop, right? Otherwise, you're going to be buying again. The market's going to stop you, and you'll be like, oh, I'm going to sell now. And then the market's going to stop you the other way. So yeah, just some piece of advice, just throwing out there when market does do this, because these forecast videos, right, are something that you guys can learn off. Even though I'm just telling you what I expect for the next week, I'm still putting something that we've learned from the last week to go into the following week as well. So yeah, it's pretty upsetting. As you can see, that price did tag into my sell zone, which I mentioned from the last week's forecast. That price should push up to this 1850 area and then start melting. I said everything correctly, but somehow I never got into the trade. Why? Because it was an Asian session. No, it was evening US session where price popped into the sell zone and absolutely melted. We were expecting some sort of pullback. Just please let us in, sir. Come on, please, sir. When Lambo. No Lambo on that one. But it's education. It's learned. but we're learning at the end of the day, and we're not out here placing buys trying to catch the dip with no stop loss and absolutely getting burnt as the market continues to crumble. So hope that stuff made sense. So what I'm expecting for next week, if I get rid of these drawings here, we've still got much imbalance left above. So if we are going to absolutely crumble and gold will turn into a bearish market continuing down, I'm sure that these either one of these imbalances will get filled, because the algorithm tends to target imbalance areas and fills those orders before moving. So prices come into my buy zone, as you can see at the bottom. We did have a nice reaction out of this buy zone actually, but I didn't want to get in straight away. The reason being is that if I got in at this area, or if I got in at this area, the stop loss would have been at least 120, 130 pips. Sorry about that, guys. Someone's at my door, so I have to quickly get that. So anyway, yeah, the stop loss would have been about 200 pips. So you don't want to enter straight away. And obviously you can get some moments like this where, you know, it'll just tag and then boom. That's because it was a very significant area, such as a bearish order block here. But then when price came into this area, right, you can see it did tag and completely reject off that area straight away. But so if I go into a smaller time frame, you can see that price did hit this area here and started to fly to the moon. But you know, we don't get no FOMO here. We waited. I then drew up my fib, got my strategy all set up based upon this impulse move here. And I teach all of this in the VIP, by the way. So based upon this structure here, right, this impulse move here, I then got my buy zone ready. And then once the price came into the buy zone here, right, and we saw some sort of rejection, the stop loss would have still been below this low here. As you can see, it wasn't tagged, right? Since I seen some rejection within this 15-minute candle, I just then sent out something on the chat saying that, yo, listen, I'm going to end up buying, take it within your own risk, right? And we took this buy. Many people made some profit here. You can see it was around about 80 pips, a nice, beautiful buy. Then as soon as you got out, where did we hit? Right, we had this double top area here, which is obviously some buy side liquidity which we had created. And then what did the market do? It spiked above that, collected not a lot of it obviously, but it did collect some. And then since it hit that area, which is also, look to your left, a significant support area, which is now a resistance area. I'm sure many people were waiting for this to get hit during the US session. It did get hit once, price went down, came up again, price went down again. So yeah, and then after it came back to the buy zone, you can see it held pretty strong. You could even say that, yo, this is a wedge breakout that we got going on over here, right, where price was basically just charging up and then broke out towards the end of the session. Now, going into next week, how would you end up trading this? What I'll be expecting is either price to come back down to this area, see how it reacts near this area buy zone, because sometimes gold can end up wicking more than it needs to. It obviously doesn't follow these lines bang on, and then carry on to the upside. Or what we could get is what I've seen previously, is that it's never this easy. Sometimes, you know, gold will continue lower than the previous low that we made last week, and then you would see some sort of an accumulation phase where price would spike lower, continue high, and then you might get a spike below that low, and then that will then send gold to fly higher. So just be on the lookout for, you know, certain stop hunts, and once you start getting some stop hunts, just know that, okay, so once the stop hunt happens, this is where the market is likely to reverse, and this is what happened usually. Liquidity is usually created something like this, where you'd get like certain double bottoms or even a triple bottom. Price will start to push up, collect some of the liquidity above, push down even further, collect the liquidity below, and that's when it's moving. That's when the move's about to start to actually send it to the upside. So keep an eye on this. This is some education I do teach on the VIP. There is education in the learning channel. Do hit that up. The learning channel is all free for you guys as well. So yeah, if I haven't explained already, the whole idea for next week would be a pullback to around about 1836. We could get 1840 as well. I'll be waiting as high as possible anyway, based on my strategy. but we could even start slowing down around about 1827, this mid area here, or actually get up to the top imbalance to retest this bearish order block we created at on the FOMC day, and just collect some leftover supply, which should push us lower. And again, I don't like speaking about bigger targets, but yeah, just expecting that stuff from there. So yeah, I hope this was very informative. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed, comment as well, hit up the links in the description, man. I'm telling you, if you want to learn with us, our team is growing, Elite Empire FX, you know what I'm saying? And I teach my strategy there. Just see if you can grab, if you find some value here, you're definitely going to find value over there. So be sure to hit it up, you know, and if you enjoyed this forecast, be sure to give it a subscribe, as I said already. So that's all from me. It's Elite Empire FX. Peace out.